So recently, a whole bunch of JFK documents were released to the public, and they say some surprising stuff. Particularly, they confirm the existence of MJ-12. This is huge. This is a game changer. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos, and share on social media when this video drops. That would be super helpful. Oh, and comment below. Let me know what you think about all this. All right, let's get into the story. You are probably aware that the JFK files have never been fully released. Well, we just got a huge dump the other day where many files were released, and people have been picking through them and seeing what is there. And, you know, it should be no surprise that some interesting UFO/U.A.P. information was there. What did surprise me was the fact that it confirms MJ-12. So it does not confirm the members that were given via the original leak of MJ-12 or leak, possibly the fabricated leak, but it does confirm the existence. So let's go through that. This is a really excellent Reddit thread on the subject. There's other sources of information on this, but this is very detailed. I will provide a link to it. I'm not going to read it all because it's very long. Then it goes into, stuff outside the scope of this video. But yeah, okay. So the JFK files, CIA Director Alan Dole's calendar entries line up exactly with the memo from President Kennedy to Dulles, Dulles, demanding to know about MJ-12 intelligence operations. There are also references to a special group that included John McCone just prior to the MJ-12 operations review date. The recently declassified calendar of CIA Director Alan Dulles has some very interesting information relating to the Majestic Documents terse memo, in which President John F. Kennedy demands answers regarding Majestic 12 operations. Here we go. Here's the memo. Subject: review of MJ-12 intelligence operations as they relate to Cold War psychological warfare planning. Or it's kind of hard to read. And it only says, I would like a brief summary from you at your earliest convenience. Now it says review of this as they relate to Cold War psychological warfare, which is really interesting. Is that a euphemism? Is that what they had to call it to maintain the secrecy? I don't know. On the day this memo was allegedly written, Dole's calendar has the following entries. And a meeting with the president at noon. 3:30, also the president. 28 June 1961 is the only day I could find, and this is from the Redditor, in Dole's calendar from 31 December 1959 through to 9 January 1962, where he has a private meeting with the President Kennedy twice on the same day. There are other days when they meet more than once, but on each of these occasions, it is always with other cabinet members. President Kennedy must have had something very important to say to Doles on that particular day, which lines up with the contents of the National Security Memorandum. The first meeting took place at 12 o'clock and the second meeting at 3:30. Doles subsequent Doles, I know I'm mispronouncing that, Dulles subsequently cancels his other appointments that day. What are the chances that a forger correctly guesses this important date for the Director of Central Intelligence? There are also a number of notable meetings that take place with people in groups associated with the JFK assassination that greatly increase in frequency after the 28 June 1961 request for MJ-12 information. I can't really make that out. I think I see General Taylor there. Noting the calendar author's unusual handwriting for the capital G, Dulles' calendar lists only 2 meetings of a special GP between 31 December 59 and 28 June 61. These occur on 23/3/61 and 6/4/61. Dulles' repeated membership of Majestic 12 is widely known. His reported membership is widely known, and it has been speculated that Dulles had the designation MJ-1. Was this special group, therefore, actually a reference to MJ-12? Given the Bay of Pigs invasion started on April 1961 and started on the 17th, concluded on the 20th, the fact that only 2 meetings took place less than a month before would seem to rule out a connection with the invasion planning. In fact, the new structure of MJ-12 with the inclusion of private industry might have just been adopted by the group after Eisenhower's term concluded, prompting Ike's famous military-industrial complex warning in his farewell address. Yeah, what did Ike mean by that? There does seem to be a lot of interesting speculation there, and I've heard different theories. But did it have anything to do with UFOs, U.A.P, in the control group? I don't know, but possibly. However, JFK is a problem for MJ-12. A leak in the newly formed office of the Secretary of the Air Force shortly after the Roswell incident in 1947 informed Senator Kennedy of the events, most likely Stuart Symington. Therefore, Kennedy almost already knew most of the background detail and also was aware the information was being withheld from him. I can't really read that very well. It is believed that information was obtained from a source in Congress who is close to Secretary for Air Force. This ultimately results in the meeting where Kennedy asked for specific information regarding MJ-12, after which the number of special group meetings in Dulles' calendar increased rapidly. And he gives a list of those meetings. After the Bay of Pigs fiasco, Kennedy stated in a State Department press conference, "There's an old saying that victory has 100 fathers and defeat is an orphan." Further statements, detailed discussions are not to conceal responsibility because I'm the responsible officer of the government. An admirable thing to say. Kennedy was deeply depressed and angered by the failure, which had been planned by the previous Eisenhower administration, with Vice President Richard Nixon figuring prominently. The famous statement, "I want to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the wind," was reportedly uttered by Kennedy after the event. One night, when it was obvious to all that the plan had failed, Kennedy told Richard Bassell, the director of plans in the CIA and overall architect of the invasion, "In a parliamentary government, I'd have to resign. But in this government, I can't, so you and Allen have to go." Dulles, therefore, knew his position as the director of the CIA was in jeopardy, and after the memo requesting information regarding MJ-12 operations, he set to work to put continuity measures in place. Incoming Director John McCone was briefed in to the special group on its second-to-last listing in Dulles' calendar. There's also a majestic document named MJ-12 Operations Review, dated 5 November 1961, which might have been prepared in advance for the benefit of incoming Director McCone and discussed at the 14 November 1961 special group meeting with McCone in attendance. The overview. The MJ-12 project. The overview. In pursuant to the Presidential National Security Memorandum, the U.S. intelligence operations against the Soviet Union are currently active in 2 broad areas: aircraft launch vehicles incorporating ELINT and SIGINT capabilities in balloon-borne decoys with ECM equipment. Okay, I don't see anything alienish in there. Yeah, then we go into the assassination stuff and the possible reasons why JFK was assassinated. I'm not going to get into all of that, but here's an interesting section. Yeah, and this gives links to everything. Like, here's the archive. Years later, when the majestic documents were first released, a memo from President Kennedy dated 12 November 1963 regarding his intentions to share information on the alien presence with the Soviets. Someone had written in the margin, response for Colby Angleton has the MJ directive, which was a reference to the burned memo recommending Kennedy's assassination. Source S1, the originator of most of the majestic documents, believed that Colby was eliminated because of this. Before the 28 June 1961 memo from 31 December, Harvey had just one meeting with Dulles. Okay, yeah, it goes into a little detail about all of this. There's nothing conclusive that I can see in here as far as JFK being assassinated by the CIA. There's some, there's. It does make you think, though, but there's nothing really that is conclusive that I have found. Maybe I'm missing something. I miss stuff all the time. So if you have seen something in this document dump or in someone's interpretation of this document dump that I haven't seen, please let me know. Obviously, I would be very curious and very, I think everybody should know if JFK was assassinated by the government or some portion of the government or even allied, aided and abetted by the government. But yeah, so very interesting. It does confirm the existence of MJ-12, although nothing in any portion that mentions MJ-12 mentions anything non-mundane. It talks about psychological operations in the Cold War and stuff like that. It talks about balloons. Now, all of that could be, euphemisms and just the terminology they had to use to skirt around what they were really doing. But there is nothing conclusive in here that would indicate that MJ-12 was actually the control group for the alien agenda. At least nothing that I have found. If you have seen that, please let me know. But whatever it was, MJ-12 appears to have been a real thing. And this document dump, these JFK files confirm that. At one point in this thread, it speculates that JFK was assassinated because he wanted to release the knowledge of the alien presence to the public. And that has been something that has been out there for a long time. There is nothing conclusive in this, in these files that I've gone over that says that. It doesn't even mention the beings. So I don't want to jump to that conclusion. There's definitely something funky going on there. Otherwise, it wouldn't have taken them so long to release the files, and they haven't released everything yet. What are they hiding? God knows. Probably a lot. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please smash the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. Please join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. And please, if you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. See the first line in the description below, and there's 2 tiers of membership to receive exclusive access and videos. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road.